guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Megan's.life, and today I've got a very interesting story. It's about my crazy neighbor, who is no longer my neighbor, so we're good, we're safe, we are blessed. Okay. But yeah, just keep watching. I'm just gonna go right into the look. Or right into the video, not into the look. Right into the video. Dun, dun, dun. Okay guys, so I have my brows done, I've got concealer on, and I set my primer with my Coty Airspun powder. This guy, oh Jesus, it's almost finished, but we'll just dive right into this story. Picture it, 2016, Minneapolis, or Minneapolis, no, not Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're just gonna say Minnesota because I was in a different suburb at the time. Your girl was like, I'm moving out. I'm moving out of my apartment. I'm gonna get my new apartment. So this was my first apartment. I didn't go to a four-year college, so I didn't like live on a dorm or anything. I lived, at that time I had lived with my family legitimately like my entire life. So when it was time to move out, I was like, I'm gone. At this time, I had a job close to where I had planned to move. So, you know, it was very much like the perfect plan, the perfect idea. Like, I'm moving out, I'm starting life on my own, yada, 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 yada. Moved in, and my best friend, my mom, my best friend's sister, and my sister and myself like moved the things, because legitimately I was just moving like my bedroom. I moved out and had I didn't have a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't have a mattress, I just had like a dresser, and you know, that was that. Sorry, I'm looking down here because that's what my mirror is. And so moved in. My best friend goes, this kind of looks like cabin in the woods. To be fair, it really was. I lived in a very small, was it? Oh, yeah, it's pretty small. Small town in Minnesota. And it was very community based, you know, everybody knows everybody kind of thing. Well, and it was kind of the same idea with where I worked. But the town was small, but people had money, you know. All my neighbors had boats. All of them, they had boats. And then there's little old me. The apartment I was moving into had, it was like an old barn that they had transformed into apartment buildings. So it was kind of, it's a little cheap, but I had this whole plan of like getting out of debt, which I did. I don't regret moving there. I just regret my neighbor. I don't regret moving there at all. But dude was crazy. And to be fair, my apartment people were also a little like insane. If you follow me on Snapchat, like if you follow me for years on Snapchat, then you probably remember some of the videos. Like, I would come home one day like my door's broken. So it wasn't like the best place to rent from. But like I said, it was cheap. And I had a plan, and so I wasn't gonna be like, oh, but like, ugh, whatever. No, we're gonna save that money, okay? And we're gonna make it work. And so I was very happy. It had hardwood floors, humongous living room, kind of cute. I don't have any pictures because I just didn't like take any pictures. I was very much so like on my own. My dad had died at that point for about a year, and so I was very depressed. Oh my God, when I think back to like my mental state back then, I don't know how I survived. I was just going through okay? And I'm not one to quite share my emotions, especially whilst going through something. So like, I just didn't tell anybody. I was just like, okay, I'm going, bye. And so anyways, whatever, I'm rambling. I moved in. My friend makes the comments of it looking like cabin in the woods, right? And so, I don't know. I go to bed that night. My mom, of course, my mom is Liberian. I'm Liberian. My best friend is Nigerian. My best friend and her sister are both Nigerian, obviously, because they're sisters. Anyways, the point is, we're West Africans and we pray and we bless and sanctify a place before you move in. So my mom does all of that. You know, my mom prays, she cries because her baby is moving out. And it was quite far from where my mom was at the time. It was probably about half an hour, 30, 40 minutes. And I had like my car and my job, and I was just like, I want to live my new life. I've always loved the idea of small towns. I don't know, I'm a huge fan of small towns. I like it where everybody knows everybody, very cutesy, you know, everybody went to high school together, nobody's really moved out. High school sweethearts are now married with kids, and the kids have high school sweethearts. I love that idea. So I really liked the neighborhood that I was about to move into. And I had been at my job at that point for a couple of months at the time. And so I was really excited. I was so excited to like drive only like 15 minutes to work and all this fun stuff. Like, you know, I had a plan in my head, and it was, this brush is too big, and it was gonna go the way it was supposed to go. So whatever, I go to work. Growing pains of moving in, you always need things and you don't realize how much stuff you need until you move in. Anyway, so one day I had gone and I did my whole Walmart run. Did I run to Walmart for something? I don't remember, but I did like a whole run to get like, you know, towel. Well, at that point I had towels. I don't know, whatever. I ran to get stuff. Come back. It's the summertime. And summertime in Minnesota is lit. I don't care what nobody said. It is lit. Come back and I see someone I presume to be my neighbor has like at this point I hadn't met anybody. He had like a plastic shovel. You know when you go to the beach, those like shovel and bucket things you take to the beach? And he had that, and he was like digging up a hole next to the fire hydrant. And me, I was like, I see crazy, and I looked the other way, because whose business is it? Not mine. No. So I think he saw me look at him really quickly, especially when I was driving in, because he had to drive in, like drive past the fire hydrant and then like park into your parking spot. And like, just imagine a barn, right? It's an old barn that they transformed into a 7-bedroom apartment. So it's kind of hard to, like, there's not that many entrances. It's small. Everybody, you know, you eventually will run into all your neighbors at some point, whatever. So I'm taking my stuff out of my car, you know, multiple trips, whatever. And he's still digging. The entire time I'm unloading my car, old dude is still digging. And I mind my business, okay, sis, I mind my business. And I went home, you know, unloaded all my stuff, closed all my windows. And keep in mind, right, after my that's what I meant to say, after my best friend had made that comment of my house looking like cabin, or my apartment looking like cabin in the woods, I went to bed. I had a dream that very night that there was a serial killer at my window, because I was on like the ground floor and easy access to break through the window. And so that dream freaks me out clearly. And so I was very like cautious, like I don't want to, I was like, which I still am to this day, no new friends. I don't want to meet nobody. I don't want to meet any of my neighbors. Like, I'm cool. We don't need to be friends. I'm only here for a little bit kind of deal. I don't know. Is that bad? Is that wrong, chat? I don't know. I am the way I am. Oh well. So probably about a week later, he's sitting on the steps, because there were some steps to go up to the upstairs apartment from the outside, and then you go this way to go to our level that we lived on, because he was like, this is my apartment, this is his apartment. We shared a wall. So he's sitting on the steps to like the upstairs apartment when I come home from work one day. And I'm like, okay, weird. I'm no eye contact, headphones in my ear. You know when you get somebody walking, got headphones in the ear, don't talk to them. Don't talk. Headphones in my ear, and I'm just like, I'm trying to mind my business. I'm trying to go home. I'm not trying to be nobody's friend. And he like, hey neighbor. Ew, if I know now. Well, if I knew then what I know now, I would have just, sorry, can't hear you, bye. But I took my headphones, I was like, hi, how are you? How are you doing? And he was like, hey, so I just wanted to explain myself really quickly. And I'm trying to do calculations of when did you do something that you need to explain yourself? Like, I remember him from digging the thing, but I'm just trying to calculate, like, okay, cool, this should be good, explain away. So he's like, I think you noticed me, like, digging up a hole, like, by the fire hydrant. I was like, yeah. I remember, but I'm like, oh yeah, no big deal, right? Live your best life. He was like, well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm digging for Queen Ant. Okay. What am I supposed to say? I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, oh, no, let me explain. I was like, bro, I asked question. Go ahead, explain. He's like, no, I'm looking for a Queen Ant because I have an ant farm, and you can't, in the state of Minnesota. In the state of Minnesota, you can't go and like buy a queen ant, so you have to find one. So I was looking for one. Confirmation that you're crazy. But okay, cool. Live your best life. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Your ant farm is not got nothing to do with me. If your ant farm falls and breaks and they come in my apartment, they're gonna die from raid. Nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, cool. Then he proceeds to say, hey, so let me show you something in the back really quickly. Me. For me to just be like, hang on, sorry, let me drink my coffee. For me to just be like, oh, no, it's cool, I gotta go. I'm like, okay, let me see the depth of this crazy, because now I'm intrigued, right? Because I'm like, okay, let me see, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Like, okay, let's see what you're working with, sir. How crazy are you? So he shows me, like, he was like, it's so, like, he said it's something on the building, which, so I was like, okay, cool. It's daylight. I didn't have any fears of being kidnapped or anything. Like, I can run, I can scream, I can punch you in the throat. Like, you know, I had a plan in my head, and I walked behind him, not in front of him, or not beside him. I walked behind him. And so he proceeds to show me this like old like barn door, like it was a door, but the door was like on the side of the roof. Like, it was, to be fair, it was fairly interesting. I was like, oh, cool. And so then he proceeds to talk to me about like all the neighbors and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool, small town, everybody knows everybody. Maybe I haven't met anybody, you know. I'm thinking, you know, people do like little potlucks together and all the neighbors are friends, and I just haven't seen anybody. Lies. So he proceeds to, like, you know, tell me about like this person in the upstairs apartment, this person in apartment 2, and this person in apartment 7, and this person and that person. And I was like, cool, you know, okay, maybe it's misconceptions, because I do, like, my gut tells me not to trust people like almost all the time. So I'm constantly like beating myself up, like, this person did, hang on, let me bring this right here, like, this person did nothing to you. You should be more trusting of people. You give people a chance to break your trust. No, every time I have that thought, it's always the wrong thought, because humans are flawed and we're all stupid. So I'm not giving you a chance to break my trust. I'm just gonna believe that you're gonna break it and move accordingly. So anyways, I felt bad for like judging him as crazy or whatever. And then he gets me to run down all the neighbors. I go in my apartment. Cool. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you know, 2 months down the line, I haven't seen a single neighbor except for him. So then I'm thinking in my head, no, before the 2-month mark, about a month and a half, I'm doing laundry. This is when I was like, gang, trouble is coming. Doing laundry, I usually, like, I'm pretty good at like getting my clothes out on time, because it was only one washer, one dryer for the entire building, which 7 units, no big deal. And at that point at my job, I had Fridays off, so I was just like, okay, cool, I'll do my laundry on Fridays, perfect for the weekend, whatever. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Put my clothes in the washer, finish. Put my clothes in the dryer, wait the hour, because when we did the tour, I asked the manager, hey, there's no timer on this, how long will the clothes take to be done? And you kind of give me the rundown, because I don't, you're trying to do your laundry, trying to like, be respectful and all that stuff. So I wasn't trying to like, take time away from anybody. Anyways, whatever. The point is, I'm about to go downstairs for my laundry. Dude was like, I opened my apartment door. Like I didn't take the stair. Like I'm not outside my apartment. I opened my apartment door. I just heard, excuse me, miss. Yeah? He goes, I have your laundry. Use it? Oh God. He said, I have your laundry. I said, thank you for it's funny now, it wasn't funny then. I said, oh, thank you for grabbing the laundry for me. Ooh, child. You think I'm about to go off on the man that took my laundry from downstairs? No. So he's like, oh, it's in my apartment. This man took my clothes from the dryer, put it in his basket, and had it sitting in his apartment. Because in his apartment, when you open the door, you're in the living room. Same with mine, you're in the living room, but he had a chair right next to the door. And thank you, Jesus, that's where my clothes were. And so I did a full lunge, like 1 foot outside of his apartment, 1 foot at like right at the door. And I'm leaning, shout out to my dance experience, I'm leaning and like grabbing all my clothes. He was like, no, you don't have to do that. I said, I'll have to take my laundry. He goes, no, I can help you fold it. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. That's exactly what that man said. He said, I can help you fold it. I was like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. I love doing laundry. I'm like, this is my quiet time. It helps me relax and think. So thank you very much. I got it though. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, no worries. See, I'm Liberian. I can survive any situation, crazy or not. So I was like, nah, bro, I got it. Thank you. Shout out to you though. I took my laundry in my apartment. I locked my door. I put the chain on the door. I locked it. I put the broom next to next to the door, kind of like to like make a barrier. And I like just sat in my apartment quiet, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. I don't know where to go. Like, I don't want to be seen leaving my apartment. What if he follows me? So I just stayed in my apartment the whole day, the rest of the day, scared AF. And at this, like, I didn't tell anybody. I went to work the following week, and I think it was like mid of the week, I told my coworker. She was like, clearly dude's crazy, just be really careful. And then she goes, have you ever thought about getting a gun? And I was like, no, man, I have PTSD. I can't get no, I can't. I don't do guns. No. And so I enrolled in kickboxing classes, which your girl was looking slim and trim. I was looking paintings on the ones and twos. I look good from kickboxing. But anyways, I started taking the kickboxing class, and then maybe about like a month later, right, I have a smart TV. And dude was like, he somehow hacked into my smart TV. This is offense number 2 after the laundry. Somebody hacked into my smart TV and was on his Facebook. Like, I'm watching TV, the screen goes blank, Facebook pops up, and I freak, because it's his Facebook and he's like scrolling. I freak. I unplug my TV, and I'm like, okay, maybe he thinks like I don't have a man, because I was single, okay, at the time. And so I called one of my friends. Shout out to you, Alex. I called one of my friends, and I was like, hey, and the friend I called up, we used to be super close. He was literally my male best friend. Like, he knew more about me than my female best friend knew about me. Like, he was my real dog ride or die kind of person. So I called him. I was like, hey, are you in town? Because he joined the army. So I didn't know if he was like really in town, if he had, you know, come back from basic training or whatever the case might have been. And so I called him. He was like, I literally just got back from training today. What do you need? I said, my neighbor might try to kill me. Legit. That's exactly what he said. And he was like, okay, I'll come over. And so I'm not sure if dude heard the phone call or not. And I had two doors to get into my apartment. One when you park from the parking lot, there's a door on the outside, and then when you actually get into the building, there's a door from the inside. So I heard at my door, I had just gotten off the phone with Alex. I knew it wasn't Alex. I didn't say a word. I just sat there. I slowed, and you could, like I said, my window was like, I'm on the ground floor, so you can see people, right? And my blinds were closed. And I see a silhouette like walk past my, oh Jesus, walk past my window, goes to the door from the outside, does. See the silhouette again, do the same thing, goes back to the front door from the inside, same knock, does it the same thing again, back from the outside, same knock. When I say my soul left my body, my soul left my body. Sis, I was scared. I was so scared. Jesus Lord, God's so good to me, because God had really saved my life, legitimately. And so I think maybe about like 15 minutes later, after the knocks, because the neighbor knocked 4 times. 15 minutes after the knocks, my friend Alex comes over, and I'm like, bro, you're not going home, you're spending the night, you know, like, I cannot be here by myself, because I'm like, if you leave, this man's gonna know that I'm alone, and what if he tries something tonight? Alex like, no, I'm not leaving, I got you. We fall asleep, and I made Alex sleep in my bed, because I'm like, I'm not trying to have him sneak through the window, none of that stuff. Alex is we're in bed, we're sleeping. I hear a knock at my front door. It's like 2:30 in the morning. And so Alex takes off his shirt, dog tags, like, shout out to you, Alex, man. Shout out to Alex, bro. Takes off his shirt, dog tags showing, you know, from the army, so muscle showing, you know, strength showing. Shows up goes to the door. It's my neighbor. I'm in the room. I can't move, because at that point I was sleeping with a knife under my pillow. It's like I couldn't move. And dude goes, he had told me, let's say he told me his name was, I'm gonna make this up, he told me his name was like Brian. When Alex went to open the door, he said his name was like Kevin. And so Alex was like, hi Kevin, very nice to meet you. Hey, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I know you were knocking on my, Alex just ran with it. This is my girlfriend's apartment. I don't want to see you knocking on her door. I know it was you knocking on her door tonight, because she called me. And then Kevin goes, oh no, I wasn't me knocking. You said? Oh no, it wasn't me knocking. But anyways, I'm knocking right now at 2:30 in the effing morning, because my carbon monoxide alarm went off, and the cops told me to like alert everybody in the building. So like, cool. Meanwhile, I didn't hear any alarm more. Okay, but I was sleeping. Then Alex and I waited up until about 3:30 in the morning. Not a cop showed. Not another neighbor's door was knocked on. None of that. So, and Alex was like, I'm just going to keep coming here, so that he like has an establishment of like a guy in your life, and maybe that'll kind of like deter him a little bit. I was like, thank you. So Alex is leaving the next morning, and we had like a fire pit in like the lawn area. Old dude is at the fire pit looking like, how do I even describe this? Like, let's say, hell, the fire pit is this way, right? He's sitting here, this is the fire pit this way, but he's looking this way. He's looking at me. And so Alex and I, like, we sold it, y'all. We like hugged very intimately, and I'm not kissing him, we didn't kiss nothing. But we hugged and stuff, and I was like, okay, babe, thank you. Oh my gosh, I miss you so much. Thanks for coming. Alex laughed. And so things were pretty quiet for a little bit. Alex and I actually, our friendship dissolved through the course of this, sadly. So, y'all, anyways, that's a story for another day. That literally, I said our friendship dissolved, and I feel like I'm gonna cry about it. Give me a sec. Whew. Anyways, whatever. Move on to, I met somebody that we were supposed to be dating. And this is about like Christmas time or so. So for a good bit, things were quiet. This is about Christmas time, and I had told the person I was dating, I was like, hey, I know you're gonna come over, because he lived in another state. I said, hey, I know you're gonna come over. This is a situation with my neighbor. He's a little crazy. I don't want, you know, like, because you're gonna be at my place whilst I'm at work. You know, if he tries anything, don't let him in my apartment. Like, if he's knocking, whatever. Just don't, you know, don't pay him any attention. You might see him staring at you, because he would stare at any guest that I had, which I really had any guests, but he would like stare. And I like being home by myself, so I rarely have people over. But like with the kickboxing and me with the knife under my pillow, I felt pretty like safe and secure. And what I also did was, since you're watching me, I'm gonna watch you. I memorized his schedule. I memorized like when he would leave, because my work, I'm a hygienist, and our schedule is always like, you know, like tilted. It's not 8 to 5 every day. Sometimes it's like noon to 7. Sometimes it's like 6:30 to 2. And so my schedule is all over the place. So it made me comfortable enough where I could sit and watch him. I knew what his car sounded like, because he had a Mustang. I watched him. Like, if you're gonna stalk me, I'm gonna stalk you right back. Let go. And so that's exactly what I did. Hang on, I'm gonna do liner and lashes, and I'll come back and finish the story. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I figured the story was getting a little too long, so I did most of my makeup off camera. But anyways, so at this point, after I've like known his schedule and everything, and I threw in so many variables into my schedule, like me coming home super late, or not coming home at all, or, you know, me spending some time at my mom's apartment, you know, so just so I could like throw a wrench into like him trying to disturb me, because I made myself scarce in my own apartment. I was paying rent and almost not living there. And so at this point, fast forward now, we're probably about like almost a year into me living there. I start dating somebody, comes from another state. I tell him about the neighbor guy, whatever. He chooses not to listen to me, because I'm at work, and I get a phone call talking about some, hey, because he had my car and I'm at work. So I'm like, you know, you can do whatever you want to do, go around, see the state, see the city, whatever. He's like, hey, so your neighbor came knocking at my door. It's winter. At this point, we're in winter. It is winter in Minnesota. That's all I got to say before I say this next statement. He says, he's at your door. He came here in his boxers. And he said he wanted to go take out the trash, and locked himself outside. And so he needs like a ride, because the leasing office was like in the next town. And so he needs to ride to the leasing office. And so it's cold outside, so I let him in the apartment so he can warm up for a bit, and I gave him somewhere close to where I'm going to take him. Every time I think about this, it makes me so mad, because I was just like, are you insane? Like, I told you this dude has been disturbing my life. And after I established my relationship with Alex, I kind of like thwarted him off for a bit. And you tell me you let the psycho in my apartment for him to warm up? Who takes out the trash outside in the middle of winter in their boxers? Somebody tell me who. Who? I don't care what state you live in. I live in Minnesota. When it's cold, it is cold. And that week that the guy was there, to be fair, it was kind of a warmer winter. We were in like high 30s, but still, like, bro, come on. And so anyways, this is a voicemail. That was a voicemail that he left on my phone because I was at work. I'm a hygienist, so when you're with your patients, you can't really be on your phone. And so it had been probably about an hour since I got the voicemail. And so I called him back irate. Why would you let it in my house? In my apartment, blah, blah, blah. I was so mad. I literally came back home and I was checking for cameras, like seeing if he left like I went full CIS, seeing if he probably left like, I don't know, a recording device or something. Because I was just like, I don't know. I don't trust this dude, so I don't know what he's capable of. And so the guy I was with at the time was like, oh, on the way to the office, he was telling me like he has problem with drinking and he's got a bunch of DWIs and made him lose his job, and then his little brother died, and da, 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 da. And not to sound mean or anything, but I literally was like, that's not my problem. It's not. He was like, oh, because it started when his brother died. I said, my dad died and he has been pestering my life. You don't see me going off the rails. Granted, people handle grief differently. I get it. But I'm just like, bro, you can't make me feel like my life is in danger because your brother died. I'm sorry for your loss, but not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, not to be mean, but it is what it is. Not my problem. And so whilst that guy I was with at the time was still there, I just told, I think maybe about 2 or 3 days later, we were leaving. Neighbor dude was outside. I just walked straight up to him. I said, listen, you've knocked on my door. You've pestered my life. You've watched me, literally. And I'm sick of it. When you see me coming, go the other way. Don't look at me. Don't speak to me. Don't call my name. Don't knock on my door. Don't lock yourself out in your like I went off. I'm not the one. I'm tired of being afraid. I pay rent here. You pay rent here. You feel safe inside your own apartment. Let me feel safe inside my own apartment. Okay? And that was it. And before you could say I'm sorry, I was like, I don't want any apologies. I'm just letting you know what it is. What time it is. You know what time it is? Time for you to leave me the F alone. Okay? Okay. And that was that. 6 months later, I moved out. That's my story with my crazy neighbor. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know if you've had any experiences similar to this. And what did you do? Have you had any experiences? I don't know. I didn't feel like I didn't report him because people were saying, why didn't you report him to the police? I didn't. I don't know. I actually don't know why I didn't report him. I was just like, at that time, like I said, I was really depressed, right? So I wasn't, and the idea of like somebody killing me sounds super morbid, but somebody killing me or somebody causing me harm, I guess didn't like instill that much fear in me for me to like call the cops. I definitely called my friends over, and I definitely like felt protected with like my kickboxing and with me what's the thing, with my kickboxing and with me keeping the knives under my bed and rotating my schedule, and you watch me, I watch you. I feel like I put in enough parameters to be like okay, so I didn't feel the need to report him to the cops. But yeah, I just felt like I did what I had to do in those situations, and I've never seen him since I moved out, so it's not like he's like a full stalker. I did have somebody follow me home when I moved to this apartment one day, but that's a story for another day, child. Y'all, why do I get crazy people following me? What is it? Is there something on my head that I'm not seeing that people can see that's like, oh yeah, follow her home? Okay. We gotta get this hair in order. Hang on, let me get this hair together. So that's it, guys. This is the final look. I feel like this eye looks funky on camera than it does in person. I don't know, like one eye looks bigger than the other, child. I don't know. But anyways, this is the final look. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we are growing. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to me. I know I'm crazy, I know I can ramble, I know I can be all over the place, but I love you, and more videos, new video every week. You know, we just gotta keep it going, keep it running. Run, Forrest, run. Run, Forrest, run. Hey, run, Forrest, run. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.